Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King and today we're going to be having a look at a bit of a different video. Now this video is going to showcase my favourite 10 games that are in my collection and that I've actually played, because I do have a shelf of shame and there are some games on there that sadly I haven't got round to play yet. Some because just haven't played them, and some because they're only recently newly turned up, sort of Kickstarters or purchases or trades. But these are currently what I would say, if anybody said about playing any of these games, I would be up to play them absolutely. And as I say, the only stipulation with this list is that they are in my collection and I've actually played them. Now there is one game on this collection of 10 that I've only played solo, but we'll get to that and I'll tell you about that when we get there. So let's start in reverse order. At number 10 we have Battle for Rokugan. Now this is a game by Fantasy Flight. It's for 2 to 5 players and it's an area control game based in sort of the Japanese mythos back in the sort of history when there were sort of samurais and things and different clans. You take control of one of those clans and basically you're trying to gain certain areas of control on the board, and after a certain amount of turns or when certain conditions happen, you are declared the winner. You do the stuff in secret. You have little player screens and you sort of place tokens down on the board, and then all at the same time, wherever those players have hidden or put those tokens that are hidden, they will flip those over and that will tell you what that region is for that turn. Sometimes you can't attack in a region, so players may well have put a token in the region where you've placed your token in one of your regions, and if they turn over a certain token, that then eliminates the chance that that region is going to be attacked. It's basically, as I say, a sort of battle for control between 2 and 5 players, and yeah, an excellent game that we first played a few years ago. But also with this is a game where myself and several of my gaming friends did the playtesting for Fantasy Flight. So we helped shape how this game has turned out. Now at the present time I believe this is an out of print game. You can still pick it up here and there, and if you are a fan of area control games like Kemet and things like that, then I suggest you give this a crack, because it is a very, very good take on that genre. So we'll just turn this over very quickly and show you the board. So as you can see there, you've got a nicely laid out board. You've got all of those screens where you do your selection process behind, and you sort of lay out those tokens, and then there are battles happening, and players are eliminated from different areas, and there's an island on the map where you can go to as well. But yeah, just an excellent game by Fantasy Flight. So that's my number 10, and that's Battle for Rokugan. So in at 9 we have Lost Ruins of Arnak. Now this game is by CGE, and they make some excellent games. They brought out one only recently called Kutna Hora, which I've also got and I have played, but didn't make this list simply because there are other games on this list where I feel they need us or deserve a slightly higher sort of placing. This is very popular. Lots of people have got this. There's been at least, I believe the second expansion only recently came out, and if you're also interested, I've done some reviews on this for Everything Board Games Magazine and for CGE Direct, so you can check those out. Some of the games that I'm going to show you today, I have done written reviews for Everything Board Games Magazine, and you will be able to find those online. So yeah, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Obviously you can see by the sort of pictures it's set in a sort of Aztecian sort of jungle area. And again, we'll just give you a quick flip of the back side of the board there. So we've got this sort of area where you are sort of sending out your expedition meeples onto the board. You get 2 of those. You can do other actions when they're not out on the board, but there are certain actions that you can only do by placing those meeples. You can go and sort of dig at ruins, you can explore. There will be guardians that you need to sort of fight off, or you will get penalties like fear cards. But all in all, this is an excellent game and one that I always enjoy playing. And also with this, the solo mode is very good and has only been improved by both of the expansions. And they also have some campaigns in those expansions which you can play through. Haven't done that as yet, but now that I've got both expansions, I will be doing that at some point. So that's number 9, Lost Ruins of Arnak. In at 8, we have Earth. Now this was a 2023 game, and for me, from all of the games that I played in 2023, this was my number 1 game of the year. This is excellent. It's a tableau building game where you are sort of using cards to build out a tableau of 15 cards. When you finally have got that, that's when the game ends, when the first person does that, and you will then add up your scores and see who has won. You will build trees and put canopies on them. You will put sprouts out onto your cards, and those sprouts will do certain things and also gain you points. But this again is another very popular game. Sold out at last year's UK Games Expo, I believe, on the first day, and they had to go and get more stock. When it came out, was absolutely red hot and sold out in most places, and was very difficult to get hold of. Not sure if they're doing an expansion, but would certainly benefit from one, just if it's adding new cards and new bits and pieces to it. But yeah, an excellent game. My game of 2023 and number 8 on the list. So number 7 is this one, Raiders of the North Sea. Now this again is a sort of dudes on the map area control type thing, but obviously based around the Norse mythology. And I've got, as I say, I've got the expansions for this as well. They're all in this sort of big box. Everything sort of neatly tucked away. This is one thing that Garphill do exceptionally well. When they do an expansion to a game and it's going to not fit in the box that they brought out the first time, they do, for a small fee, they do a larger box and with inserts in them, so that you can put not only the base game but the expansion as well. And again, this is there's no sort of map for this, but I've got the neoprene map for this, which also enhances the game because it's got everything on there for the expansions that they brought out for this. But yeah, this is a very fun game to do, where you're going around sort of doing raids and things on sort of places, and you're building up your ship crew. Those crew can be lost in battles and things, but you can gain new ones. Yeah, this, out of the games that they brought out, my favourite one is this, and then we have Architects next. Architects didn't make the list, but was very close to. But yeah, Raiders deserved its place for me on the list at number 6. The next one, number 5, is a large area control game, Mosaic. So this is from Forbidden Games, but I now believe that is moved and sort of been acquisitioned by University Games. A game by Glenn Drover. This is a fantastic game, and one that I've recently got the new Wars and Disasters expansion for, and also a set of the solo cards. Now I haven't played either of those yet, but we do have a 4 to 5 player game planned for the next couple of weeks, so sort of early February time in 2024. But yeah, we've played this I think 3 times now, and we've enjoyed it each time. Nice big map which you fill out with tokens. This is just the sort of retail version. So there is a what they call a Colossus edition, and instead of the wonders and the towns and the ports being sort of cardboard hexes, they're all plastic miniatures, so little tiny cities. All of the sort of wonders of the world are all done in miniature as well, and instead of having small sort of tokens for your armies and forces, your cavalry, they also do the miniatures for those as well. But as I say, that's in the Colossus edition, which I'm hoping I will pick up at some point. I was given this copy by University Games / Forbidden Games to do a review on, which again you can see on everythingboardgames.com. But yeah, that is my number 5 game, and that is Mosaic. Now, because I'm doing this video and we've just gone past 150 subscribers on the Games Kingdom channel, I did say when we reached that sort of little milestone, and I thank you for everybody who has currently signed up, I was going to give away a game. So the game that I'm going to give away to somebody is Summoner's Isle. So if for those of you who know this and have played it but haven't got it, this might be a chance where you can win it. It's a nice little game there. So it's for 2 to 4 players, plays in about 40 to 60 minutes. And yeah, so if you would like to be in with a chance of winning this, you have to be a subscriber to the channel, because that was the whole point of putting a game up for a prize in getting to 150 subscribers. So you do need to be a subscriber. You can obviously subscribe if this is the first video that you've watched, or if you've watched all of them, thank you. If you've only watched some of them, thank you very much. You can click on that like and subscribe button, please. And what I would like you to do in the comment section is put down your thoughts on this list, if you have any, and also what your own number 1 game that you've got in your own collection would be. So just let me know what that would be from your own collection, and what you think of any of the games, if you've played them or not, from this top 10 list, and we'll go from there, and somebody will be getting Summoner's Isle in the post. So where can you find me before we move on to number 5 to number 1? So this is me, the Games Kingdom. So you can find me here, youtube.com at the Games Kingdom 811. So as I say, please click a like on the video, and it would be great if you would subscribe if you haven't already, and this is why you're here, to try and win a prize. So as I say, if you can do that, fantastic. Leave a comment, tell me your number 1 game out of the games that you own, not that you've played, but the games that are in your collection, and why. If you want to, why you love it that much that it's number 1, and I will select one of those in a random draw, and I will contact that person, and I'll send them the Summoner's Isle. Or if you want to, you can get it and then donate it, or pass it on to a club or a friend or a family member. So what have we got at number 5? Well, we've got quite a chunky game here, and this is from Mind Clash, and it's Perseverance Castaway Chronicles. If you haven't seen what the game is about, this is the premise of the game is you were part of a ship, a cruise ship, that was in a storm, crashed onto a deserted island. Nobody thought anything different other than, you know, you were in a storm, and then find out that the island is inhabited by dinosaurs. You've gone through some sort of time loop, and you've ended up on an island somewhere back in time stroke somewhere in the universe, and there are dinosaurs, and basically you're trying to fend those off whilst building up somewhere to live, using the ship parts, building a city, you know, foraging for food, making sure that if the dinos get through your defences and they rampage across your town that you've built up, that they're not rampaging into your areas but potentially into your opponents. And this is episodes 1 and 2. Episodes 3 and 4 has just been on GameFound in the last few months, and even though the campaign has closed currently, you can late pledge and you can get either all of the content, 1 and 2. They do come with some nice dino miniatures, and also you can get the sort of standee version, so you've just got cardboard standees. You can play the game with either. This particular version I picked up, somebody was doing a sale because they'd got some other friends who'd got a copy, so I managed to pick this up at last year's expo from somebody, and we've played it a few times, and it is a very, very good game. Looking forward to episodes 3 and 4. They're not going to be delivered until next year, the new content. So you can order that and then try and pick up 1 and 2 earlier, or you can wait and get it all together. But it's on GameFound if you want to late pledge. But yes, this is Perseverance Castaway Chronicles from Mindflash, and that's number 5. Number 4 is another area control game, and that is Kemet. Now, I love the Egyptian mythology and everything that sort of surrounds it. It's just, to me, a sort of fascinating period where, you know, their gods were literally what they say they were. They were gods. They revered them. You know, they thought that they were influential over everything in their lives. And this is a area control game where you've also got some monsters, but you're basically putting your dudes on a map. You've also got some pyramids that you can build up, and each of those pyramids are a different colour, and you can do different and buy different sort of, for want of a better effect, sort of like a spell card, or a sort of a power that will enhance your armies and your sort of playing ability. And yeah, it's basically you're trying to gain control of an area in the land. And you've got this very nice sort of map layout, and as you can see here, this is the sort of original copy, and the pyramids were donated by coloured sort of D4 dice, and the numbers on them refer to the level of the pyramid, and based on the level of the pyramid you can buy higher value and higher strength cards to put in your tableau. In the newer version, of which I've got some of the new stuff in here, there was a reprint, and they upgraded some of the components, including the things like the pyramids, which are now, you can actually build the pyramid up level by level and then put a coloured token on the top of it to donate what colour of pyramid that is, because depending on the colour of the pyramid, you can only buy that level of the card from the sort of deck available. But that's Kemet. That is number 4 in my list of top 10 games that I own and have played. So number 3, this was also a very popular game when it first came out, and is still so, and that is Dwellings of Eldervale by Breaking Games, designed by Luke Lawrie. It's basically a fantasy game, so you've got several different factions, and everybody's playing a separate faction. It's a 1 to 5 player game, but there are more than 5 factions that you can choose from. You can take control of large monsters. Your faction all has individual sort of player powers and abilities. You've got normal sort of warriors, you've got a leader, you've got a wizard, and you've also got a dragon that can go around as a meeple, and you're revealing different hexes. You're building up the board. There are certain criteria that you need to sort of do and follow when you choose to reveal a new hex, a new part of the land, and that has to be done in a specific order. So you can see here that these are the hexes that come out. You start with the same ones at the beginning of the game, and then you can go on to one of these hexes, and that gives you the opportunity to reveal another one, and then you can place that wherever you like, as long as it touches 2 other hexes at the time of placement and follows all of the other rules. There is a faction called the Ghosts, which is the solo mode. I've played against that several times, and again, another excellent solo mode for people to play against. And you've got all of these sort of plastic miniatures. You've got these nice sort of screen printed meeples, so showing you your warriors and your basic troops and things out on the board. You collect cards, spell cards and quests, and basically you carry on until a certain condition is met. Either so many of these tiles have come out, and then you will do a final scoring and see who wins. So this is the Legendary Edition, and it's also got the sound effect bases, so that every time you place down the monster it makes a noise that is relevant to that particular monster. So that's number 3 in the list. So number 2 is a game that not many people, when I speak to them, have heard of, and that is Barbarians: The Invasion by Tabula Games. So Tabula have done things like Mysthaea. This is the 2nd edition. I did get the original edition, but then they did a 2nd edition reprint where they sort of tidied up some of the rules, sorted out some of the cards. They did a new sort of insert for all of the miniatures. This is a game based on, again, Norse mythology, and as you can see here, you've got a lot of banners that will go out onto the board. But the main thing about this game is this, what is like a roulette wheel, but it's classed as a volcano, and you will put your warriors and leaders onto this, and you will get certain benefits from where you place them, and then at certain times these wheels will twist in the game, so you think that you'll be able to go down, because when you place one, the next time you place one, it has to be in an adjacent 1 to 2 regions. So they're basically like sort of triangular cheese shaped areas where you would place them, and then the next one sort of forks down into 2, and your next guy has to go into one of those 2 lower down. So you'll place one thinking, next time I'm going into this, and then somebody will come along, twist the whole wheel, or a section of one of the 3 areas of that wheel, and your guy may well not be able to do the action you wanted to do when it comes back to your turn, because somebody has moved the wheel around. So this is how it's set up, and this is where this volcano is. You've got a board here with some tracks that you can move up and down and score points. There are certain things that will happen during the game, certain amount of rounds. You can go out and attack into some of the islands, and there's several maps. There were I think 2 with the original game, and then they brought some other ones out with the 2nd edition. You've got your own player board where you will move up and down with your resources, and you will need to spend those resources when you're doing things like battling against some of the creatures, but also in some of the lands. And then everybody in this particular one, I've got the one with the miniatures, but again, there is a version with meeples. You can still buy this. It is an excellent game. If you've not seen it before, check it out on places like YouTube and or Tabula Games website, because I feel that this is a very undervalued game, an unknown game in certain respects, but when myself and my friends play this, we always have a very good time. We just don't play it enough. We've got so many games that we don't play this enough, unfortunately. So that's my number 2 game. That's Barbarians: The Invasion. So we've gone through 9 of the games, and we're down to my number 1 game. And I did say at the start that all of these games are in my collection, and I've played all of them. Only one of the games I've only played solo, and that's my number 1 game. You can obviously play it with up to 4 players, but so far, for some reason, I've not got this to the table with my group of gaming friends, and I do think that they would really enjoy playing this, and especially since I managed to get, when they did a reprint and they did an upgrade and they did some expansions and all some extra bits, and that is also from Mind Clash. It's Anachrony. This is on a lot of people's lists as one of their favourite games, but for me, in my collection, this is the game. If I only had to keep one game, this would be it. If there was a fire and I could only save one game, this would be the one that I'd try and save, simply because I believe that this game has the best system that I've played for solo play. And as I say, at the minute I have only played it solo, but Anachrony for me is an absolutely outstanding board game, and I must try and get this to the table with some friends. The only reason I haven't is because it takes, or will take, longer than we get to play on a club night. So as you can see, I mean, the box is huge. I mean, it's filled from top to bottom with these, you know, these are the rule books, and you know, there are a few. So you know, you've got different, admittedly there are some here from the original, before the sort of second printing, because there are now 2 different versions of the solo game which they did an improvement on. You've got an art and story book as well, so you know, it'll, you know, you can go through and read this and it gives you a bit about the world and everything. Mind Clash are excellent at this sort of stuff. They really do sort of go to town on what they do with their games, and again, obviously this is very similar to Perseverance, because this and Perseverance are from the same people, Mind Clash. You know, for me they are one of the top game producers out there and have been for some time. There's the miniatures are in here, large exosuits. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It looks complicated, and it sat on my shelf, I must admit, for nearly 2 years before I broke it out and even tried to play it, because I thought it was going to be too complicated. Once you start, it just flows. The rule system is very easy to follow. You place a guy out in their suit, you take an action, it affects something on your board, or gives you an added power, or you can buy something to upgrade for future turns. You've got workers that are rested, some are exhausted, you have to pay to get them back. You can go back in time and take resources from your previous self, but if you don't pay that back before the end of the game, you lose points. At a certain point in the game, the world starts to collapse and you have to try and get off the world. You can place one of your workers on a specific space on the board when that starts, but then that place is locked, so you can't use it anymore. But if you go there first, you get more added victory points. But again, there are sort of yin and yang situations that you've got to go through with this, and there is so much going on. Again, all the components are fantastic. The player boards, you know, everything about this screams quality. And as I say, I must get this to the table with my group of gaming friends, because I do think that they will really enjoy playing Anachrony. So there we have it. That is my top 10 for this year, the beginning of 2024. I'm going to try and do this every year and see how this list evolves, hopefully, God willing, as they say, over the next few years, to see how it changes from what it is today, and let's see what happens next year. There are some games that have turned up in my collection that I haven't played yet. Things like Ice, Ceres, and From the Moon are just 3 new Kickstarters that I've got in the last couple of months that obviously couldn't make this list, but may have done because I haven't played them yet. And then there's other games that were very close to making the list, like Distilled and The Thing. You know, we've got Architects of the West Kingdom and Cora. You know, not a huge game, Cora, but one that is really nice to play. Abyss, absolutely love Abyss, but didn't make the top 10. So I think this list will change over time. Maybe also Lords of Ragnarok, which I also got as a Christmas present this year, may well make the list next year, but we just have to see what happens after it gets a play or two over 2024. So if you want to, as I said, we have this competition going on where one subscriber to the channel will win Summoner's Isle, and if you want to win that, then go on to the channel, follow this video, subscribe, leave a comment on this video about what you think to the list, what your #1 game is in your collection, and if you want to, tell me why that is. But if you do that and you want to try and win this game, also just tell me where you are in the world so I know where some of my subscribers are, because you can't always tell from some of the names where people are. But yeah, just let me know where you are in the world so I can see what sort of games are playing or being played or getting some love in different areas of the globe. And until we do something like this again, it's bye for now.